A U-turn for Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood. What impact will the move to nominate Khairat el-Shater as a candidate in the upcoming presidential election have? Is the nomination likely to intensify a standoff with the ruling military council, or will it weaken other candidates, especially those from religious parties? This is Inside Story. Hello, welcome to the program. I'm Hamed. With just a few weeks until the first presidential election since the fall of Hosni Mubarak, the most dominant political party of post-revolutionary Egypt has officially entered the contest. It's a decision that has major repercussions for the country's political scene as well as the movement itself. Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood has nominated a presidential candidate in a major reversal of its previous policy. Khairat el-Shater is the group's deputy leader and a millionaire and a businessman who was imprisoned for 12 years under Mubarak's leadership. Earlier in February, Shater had denied the possibility of running as a candidate for the Muslim Brotherhood's political wing.
We won't nominate a candidate from the Muslim Brotherhood. We'll announce who we'll support just before nominations close.
What about the rumors that the Muslim Brotherhood will announce you as their candidate at the last minute?
This isn't an option or a possibility.
Well, the Muslim Brotherhood's actions have prompted accusations that the group is trying to grab more power. Its Freedom and Justice Party won 47% of the votes, and combined with the more conservative Salafist parties gave the religious-based bloc more than 70% of the seats in the parliament. The Muslim Brotherhood also holds a firm majority in the 100-member Constituent Assembly, giving them the strongest hand in writing the constitution. They also elected their Speaker of Parliament to head the committee. On Saturday, they said that the military blocked their attempts to dismiss the cabinet and threatened to dissolve the newly elected parliament, as well as push forward a candidate from the old regime. The Brotherhood said that is why they decided to put up a presidential candidate despite earlier promises not to. Well, some say that the Muslim Brotherhood's decision to field their deputy head for the presidency exposes divisions in the group's ranks and threatens to divide the movement's vote.
Of course, the Muslim Brotherhood's decision has a strong impact because this nomination now poses a threat to other candidates. Since the Muslim Brotherhood, which is a highly organized group, will support al-Shater, and this means fragmentation of votes among Islamic candidates, it will take away from the support of other Islamic candidates.
So, does the Muslim Brotherhood's candidate stand a chance of becoming the next president in Egypt, and where does his loyalty lie? With the Brotherhood's Islamic-based ideology or with the common good of Egypt? Well, to help us answer these questions and a whole lot more, we're joined by our guests in Cairo. Yahya Hamed, a foreign affairs representative with the Muslim Brotherhood and Freedom and Justice Party. Yehia Ghanem, managing editor of al-Ahram International, and Khalil, al-Anani, an Egyptian political analyst. Gentlemen, good to have you with us. If I could start with you, Yahya Ghanem, first of all, your reaction to this decision.
Well, let me put it that way. I was a bit surprised, not very much surprised. I'm kind of used to such surprises coming from the Muslim Brothers. But in the meantime, let me stress upon the fact that I'm not amongst those people, one of those people who claim that it's not the right of the Muslim Brothers to nominate a presidential nominee. But in the meantime, I would have thought of the Muslim Brothers to be more wise and to live up to their promises and their reassurances to the public that they are not going to nominate a presidential candidate, at least in this upcoming elections.
Mr. Khalil al-Anani, what's your reaction to this?
Well, I think first of all, this is a very pure political struggle over taking power or over sharing power. I think each part, the military and the Brotherhood is trying to improve its position in negotiation, and they're trying to push each other to expand and to increase their share of power when it comes to transition. I think the reaction of many people in Egypt that they have surprised by the Brotherhood nomination of Khairat el-Shater, but I would say that everything is possible. This is politics, and each one regardless his ideological background, has the right to run for a presidency as long as he doesn't have any legal restrictions. But let me expand the analysis by saying that I can read such decision by nominating Khairat el-Shater in two different ways. The first one, it's some kind of confrontation between the military and between the brothers. And here, I think the negotiation between both parties that took place over the last few weeks reached to the point that there is some kind of deadlock. But the other scenario that there is some kind of deal or bargain between both of them, and what's happening is just some kind of smoke stream to hide such kind of deal.
Yehia Ghanem, what's your view on this? Do you think this risks splintering the vote?
Yeah, well, let me put it that way. One of the risks that I'm very much afraid of is that immature attempts from some of the parties concerned in this game of trying to turn the whole thing into almost something like a bellum sacrum, something almost like a holy war against Islamists and the Islamists against the so-called secular. This is one of the risks that I can see, I can recognize, and I hate the idea of some of the concerned parties, the idea of some of the concerned parties. They're trying to propagate the cause, the issue, through turning the whole thing into a bellum sacrum. The second thing is I would have loved the concerned parties to train themselves into a risk calculating thing, into a risk calculating process, rather than just firing arms through the media all the time. I believe that there's a great deal of immaturity in dealing with this issue, and all the issues concerned about the democratic transformation in Egypt. There's a huge amount of immaturity. It seems that all the parties concerned are suffering from teenaging symptoms, and I believe this is a very dangerous thing at this very critical juncture that we are heading to.
First, I want to talk a little bit more right now about Hazem Abu Ismail, and we're going to play you a clip now of something that was said regarding that. Now, the Salafist movement, which is another more conservative movement with an Islamic ideology, they are saying that there is a danger of splitting the vote, which we talked about earlier. Noor, the conservative Salafist party, is the second largest in parliament. It's decided to start a campaign to unify support for a suitable candidate, and it hopes to reach an agreement and avoid fragmentation.
We are trying to channel all support to one candidate, to present a candidate to the Egyptian society who would help alleviate the worry, concern, mystery and the confusion that we are witnessing right now.
So we had the spokesman there from Noor saying that this is an option that should be considered. Is this a viable option in your opinion, Yehia Ghanem?
Well, I don't believe at this stage that we have the luxury of having one candidate. No, I don't believe we have such luxury, and we have to be realistic when we deal about this number of candidates running for the presidency. I don't believe actually that the problem lies in that number of the runners. But I believe that the problem is, the crux of the problem is that most of the parties concerned, they deal with the Egyptian people as if they have the power of attorney over the people, not the other way around. I believe that it is the people who've got the right of attorney over all those players in this political game. Again, I reject the logic or the illogic of certain groups, especially groups which maintain religious background, that they are the staff that spins the destiny of the Egyptian people.
There is a political game that is being played out here, as many Egyptians believe, and that behind the scenes some kind of deal is in the works with the military rulers. Any truth to that, you think?
Well, I think so. I think if we talk about the real powers on the ground right now, we can talk about three main blocks right here. The first one is the military, of course, which has the physical power so far, because they are the ruler of the country as a de facto. We're talking about the most organized and the most strongest political movement in Egypt, which is the Muslim Brothers. And we're talking about the newcomer to politics, which is the new Salafis, or the political Salafism. So I would say that the new shape of politics, or the new shape of transition, will be decided and will be determined by the negotiation between these three parties. However, to what extent they can reach to an agreement, this is the question. I would say that so far we cannot be sure that if there is some kind of bargain or there is some kind of confrontation.
Yeah, I mean, Yahya, this gets to the question that we were asking earlier about self-interest here and sticking to the ideology. And it also calls into question whether the Muslim Brotherhood is basically hungry for power here. I mean, we made the point there at the beginning of the program that the Muslim Brotherhood, their political wing, controls the largest slice of the parliament. It dominates this constituent assembly that is putting together the new constitution. They've told the military ruling council that they want the entire cabinet sacked, and now they're putting up a presidential candidate against what they had previously said that they would do. So, I mean, it begs the question then that the Muslim Brotherhood is at risk of making the same mistakes that were made under Mubarak, that they risk becoming hungry for power.
Okay, let me put it that way. I believe that the Muslim Brotherhood made some mistakes, but you know, putting up a presidential candidate, it doesn't come on top of their mistakes list. The first mistake, first and foremost, is that I believe that in such political game, the group should have kept in the background and kept its political party in the foreground. You know, whenever a crisis takes place, we find the group hopping in front of the political party, of its political party, which is a serious mistake. I believe that after the changes, the radical changes that we have witnessed during the last 15 or 16 months, the group should have stayed in behind and let the political party, the Freedom and Justice Party, deal with the issue rather than running the whole show itself. The second mistake is that it seemed to me that the group have decided to carry on growing old rather than growing up. Now, we have to differentiate between growing old and growing up. Growing old is mandatory. We all have to grow old. But growing up, it's politically, I'm speaking politically, from the political perspective. The growing up, it's a matter of a choice. So I believe that the group, as well as some other groups as well involved in this process, they have to take a decision and to make a choice of growing up politically rather than growing old, because growing old will end up by dying. And nobody wants to see such fate, you know, happening to the Muslim Brotherhood.
Let me ask you then, what are ordinary Egyptians telling you about all this? Do they see a lot of cynicism here as well?
Excuse me?
What are ordinary Egyptians on the street telling you about this decision? Do they see a lot of cynicism in this decision as well?
Well, I believe it differs. It differs from one person to another. As far as the supporters of the group themselves, of course, there's no such thing like cynicism. As for the sympathizers of the group, of course, again, there's no such a thing like cynicism. But the other who are left out, it's not a matter of cynicism they show, it's a matter of fear. And that's why I would have liked the group, the Muslim Brother group, to be more considerate and to be more embracing and inclusive, rather than changing the changing lanes, you know, taking such attitude of changing lanes, and especially at this early stage of political transformation that we're going through. I believe it was very, very important from the side of the Muslim Brotherhood to reassure the public and not to take such attitude of changing lanes every now and then.
Khalil, what are ordinary Egyptians telling you about this, how they view this decision? Do they see a political game at work here?
Well, I think many of Egyptians, as I said before, they have been surprised by such a decision, but until now I cannot tell what will be the reaction of the street on the el-Shater nomination. But so far there is some kind of confusion, and I don't think that anyone can tell what will happen next. But let me just go back and to answer the question about, is the Muslim Brotherhood, they are hungry to power? I would say, I mean, this is a very legitimate and very acceptable thing that any political party has the right to take power. The question is to what extent this party can reach to some kind of consensus and can play some kind of fair game. I would say that what happened over the last few months, that the Brotherhood felt that they has been betrayed by the military when they took a powerless parliament, and they feel that this is not some kind of sharing power, and they should insist to have real and genuine power, and that's why they are pushing on the presidency issue. The question is to what extent this decision might affect the movement internally, and here we should put such decision within the internal dynamics within the Muslim Brotherhood. I would say that those who took the decision by nominating Khairat al-Shater didn't take the opinion of the majority of the Muslim Brotherhood. I think the majority, mainly the grassroots of the Brotherhood, have been, you know, taken by surprise of what happened. And this might lead to some kind of internal divisions, but not a split, of course.
All right, Yahya Hamed, if I could go to you now. First of all, do you support this decision by the Brotherhood?
Thanks, Hazem, for hosting me. Yes, we support, if this is the question, I heard it right. Yes, we support definitely the move that the Ikhwan Shura Council has made the day before yesterday of electing Mr. al-Shater into the presidential election.
Tell us why. I mean, are you not concerned that that there are those among the Brotherhood who will not support this decision, and this is perhaps splitting the movement somewhat?
No, it won't split the Muslim Brotherhood. As you know, that the Muslim Brotherhood is a democratically foundation as well, and an institute, and every decision that we make is making by a democratic way. You know that 56 candidate of the Shura Council has voted for the presidential, going for the presidential election, while about 52 voted against, and this is what democracy is for. The scene is not like what has been in February 2011 when we announced that we will not be coming up with a candidate, but now the political scene is very different than the one before, and we have many reasons why we brought Mr. al-Shater into the scene now. And as you have said, no, it will not split. Definitely there are various sects inside Muslim Brotherhood, one who support and one who see, so that we shouldn't have done this. But again, democratically, we selected Mr. al-Shater, and we voted before Mr. al-Shater about the character, the important thing about whether Muslim Brotherhood and FGP would support a candidate from within the Muslim Brotherhood group or not, and then the decision was made to elect Mr. al-Shater.
Well, we played a clip earlier of Mr. al-Shater in an interview a couple of months back, and he was quite categorical in his assertion that the Brotherhood would not put up a candidate. Now they are, and he is their candidate. Doesn't it call into question the whole credibility of the movement and the party?
And I guess if you interviewed him a week ago, he would have said the same thing. I guess that the Muslim Brotherhood was put in a situation from the military rulers, the SCAF, into a situation that we think that there were made so many obstacles into the smoothest transitional of power since the elections of the parliament and the election of the Shura Council, which are the two only elected and freely democratically elected bodies in Egypt right now. There were signals coming from some places about dissolving of such a parliament. There were signals that they will be putting their own candidate in place. There are a very high evidence signals about the weak performance of the government, and then the parliament, when he puts the questioning the government and not accepting the statement that made by the Prime Minister, Mr. Ganzouri, Dr. Ganzouri, that we are not accepting the performance and the weak performance of the government. All these things putting in place makes us right now change our decision, and we admit that we changed our decision, and this is what political scene is about. Political scene is about going into democratically elected bodies like the Shura.
I want to ask you about Abu al-Munam al-Fatouh, who, as you know, is also a candidate, put himself up as a candidate for president. He was he's a former member of the Brotherhood, as you know, and because he decided to run for the presidency, he was kicked out by the Brotherhood. Now that you have reversed your stance on that and put up your own candidate, isn't he owed some sort of an explanation?
Is he of some sort of what?
Some sort of an explanation, or his supporters will be saying he'll be owed some sort of apology for what happened.
Yes. Yes, definitely. No, there is no apology. We respect Dr. Abu Fatouh as well. We respect the rest of the candidates that coming for the presidential elections. And who said that whether if Mr. Abu Fatouh right now was in the Muslim Brotherhood, he might have been one of the names elected. But changing the decision of the Muslim Brotherhood right now doesn't mean that we go with the name of Dr. Abu Fatouh as well. We respect his stance. We respect that he decided to go outside the Muslim Brotherhood, agreed on decision then, and we respect ourselves as well when we change the decision upon the political scene, that we come up with the elected character and elected figure, the strong figure that we think he is capable right now of leading Egypt into the new Egypt after the revolution, and to make sure that all the demands of the revolution is come into a place of execution and fulfillment, other than all the weak performance that we are seeing right now. So Dr. Abu Fatouh, as well as the rest of the candidates, we respect. We have our own criteria that we depend upon selection, and these selections are made by a democratically way, and we respect this democracy. And Dr. Abu Fatouh then, when he decided not to go with the norm and with the customs and ways of selection inside the Muslim Brotherhood. So right now we elected our candidate, and it's a free choice. We are not saying that Mr. Shater will be the president. We are proposing him into the Egyptian people, and we have full trust of the Egyptian people about their selections of the candidacy.
All right, then where do Khairat al-Shater's loyalties lie here? Do they lie with the Brotherhood's ideology or with the common good of Egypt?
Mr. al-Shater has both things in place. Mr. al-Shater is well known for his economic power and economic. He is an advanced economic and freely economic guy. He has built an entire body of economy inside the Muslim Brotherhood and outside in his own private business as well.
But they're not the same thing, though, are they? Don't they contradict each other?
Just let me finish this one. And a full renaissance project that he has been working on for the past years, the one that contains an incubator for all ideas. So you are speaking about education, you are speaking about economy, you are speaking about coming with foreign investment. Mr. al-Shater, along with a various group, has visited so many European and Asian and African countries during the past month, and only this was in place only to make a real push into the Egyptian economy. And Mr. al-Shater as well is one who can really be a strong figure leading. We couldn't see till now a full project for Egyptians. Yani all the candidates that we respect so much, we need to see a real project in place and a real calendar in place of things that we will do into the reformation of Egypt. We are coming with this plan, and we'll be announcing it in a few days, inshallah, with a full program about the renaissance of Egyptian situation altogether, coming from the social part, from the economical part, and from the constitutional stability as well, the one that we are aspiring to have, to know exactly what are the things things that the president will be asked to do, as well as the parliament, and not to have this kind of fight and tensions between the government and between the parliament. And this is going to take place, inshallah, within the coming few days.
Thank you very much to our three guests, Yahya Hamed, Yehia Ghanem and Khalil al-Anani. Thanks very much for your perspective. And thanks very much for joining us on this edition of Inside Story. Remember, if you want to send us your feedback, just email your thoughts to us at insidestory@aljazeera.net. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.